Yo, what's up, guys? It's the MMA Analyst here to give you my recap for UFC on Fuel TV 4. Let's get almost right down to it. I gotta ask a question. You know how they say, like, the bigger you get, I don't mean bigger like size-wise, I mean like the more popular you get, you know, there's like the haters show up, you know, the more love you get, the more. All right, I don't think I'm getting any more love, but I'm getting some more haters, and they're really dumb people out there, you know what I mean? Now, I'm just gonna look at this comment here. I'm not gonna say who put it, it's there. I think it's too close. Let's back it up a little. All right, there. At least my head's not getting cut off now. All right. So before we get into it, I just want to shine the light on a genius here. It says, "Oh my God, you had to put BET. What a effing joke." I think he's talking about, like, the thing is BetMMA. So I'm wondering, is he saying, like, "Oh my God, you put BET like Black Entertainment Television"? Is that a joke? Or putting the actual bet like money, is that a joke? Like, what is this dude talking about? So I see somebody said he meant BET as in B.E.T. No, it's not Black Entertainment Television MMA. Absolutely, that's not what this is. It's bet like money, you know, make money, bet money. What the hell? Where are these people coming from? The internet needs a login thing where before you log in, you put your fingerprint on this machine. And this fingerprint has got a database of everybody who wants to get on the internet. That database is then connected to and correlates with some kind of IQ test or just something that we know that you're at least smart enough to control the internet. So we know you're not just on here looking at beheadings and porn and stuff. And you can be, you know, somewhat, what's the word? Like, productive with your life with the internet, just so that the internet is not just this place for absolute dummies to just congregate in a massive imbecile convention. There we go. That's what the internet's almost like. It seems like it's just an idiot convention. Just everybody just jump online together and just be idiots and just post any old mindless, brainless, nonsensical stuff anywhere you possibly can. Just crazy to me. And I don't really notice it a lot because I don't just talk to random people on the net, which is kind of crazy because I do multiple things online where I do, you know, correspond and interact with strangers. But for the most part, you know, people that contact me in general, they're not idiots. So it's just I read some comments, I'm like, man, this guy's an idiot. No matter what he means here, it's just stupid. Anyways, good Lord. Rant over. Let's get right down to it. Mark Munoz got his ass whooped. And what does Josh Rosenthal have against Filipinos? All right, obviously it's not against Filipinos, but I don't know why he let him take... Okay, let's put it like this. It's very obvious. Mark Munoz was trapped. Not only was he trapped on his side, and obviously a little daisy, but Weidman had his arm behind him so he couldn't even protect. Then he was just basically 16 ground and pound shots to the side of the face. No space between face and mat. Just doing that. Like, all on the face. Bloodied this dude up. What were you waiting for, dude? I'm like, stop this. Ooh, man. This. Come on. It already looked, the whole fight, the whole card for the most part, there's a lot of, you know, whackness on there. So it already kind of looked like felony fights, but I'll be damned if he just didn't let that dude just take an unnecessary ass whooping. It's fights like that and stoppages like that that make me remember that the human body is just so much more resilient than we think. A lot of people think that you just get punched in the face and someone's going to die. Yeah, I mean, it can happen sometimes. Sometimes you'll hit somebody, they hit the ground, and all of a sudden you manslaughter. Like, man, that sucks. But, man, some people can, like, the human body can take a beat down. Munoz got destroyed in those final 5 seconds, but... man, that's a late stoppage. Rosenthal's a good ref. That was a late stoppage. Whoa. By the way, happy to say that I think I'm finally out of that rut over the last 3 cards. I went like 9-2 on this one, 8-3 on the last one, 8-3 on the one before. So, oh man, that was quite the ride of ridiculousness. But I think, that's knocking on wood. I hope that that's the end of that. Anyways, okay, so here's the thing, right? Anderson Silva is clearly the best fighter who's ever lived. And Chris Weidman is somebody who's starting to show some serious promise. Whooping on Munoz like this, taking Maia on short notice and beating Maia even though he was dead tired and all that craziness. Mad props to Chris Weidman. But does anybody actually want to see Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva? And I know the UFC has to think about it like Anderson Silva is that dude. So do they want to potentially have Anderson Silva finally lose in the UFC to potentially Chris Weidman? I don't know if anybody wants that. That's just, really, we're all past the Chael Sonnen thing. But I think I would rather have him lose to Chael Sonnen. Because at least Chael Sonnen is like Chris Weidman might be a future champ. Okay, obviously I would not rather want him to lose to Chael Sonnen. That's terrible. But I want, whenever Anderson does lose, I want it to at least be to just an amazing fighter where everybody's like, whoo, not just potentially a guy that's going to take him down and try and Chael Sonnen him with maybe some better punches on the ground. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not even saying that Chris Weidman would win. I'm just saying if that were to happen, that would be horrible. To imagine Anderson Silva goes, 16 wins in a row in the UFC or 14 defenses or 10 defenses of the title, 14 wins in a row, 16 wins altogether in a row, and then he loses to Chris Weidman? Ew, I don't want to see that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Anyways, but congrats to Chris Weidman. He definitely was a beast, an absolute monster. All right, what else? James Te-Huna versus Joey Beltran. I have my buddy actually, you actually probably know his name. Sharon is somebody I battled, King of the Dot battle rapper, more popular guys. Anyways, he actually was like, I'm a fan of Joey Beltran, and I'm not going to dog him. People are fans of whoever they want, but he was like, Joey Beltran always comes to fight. I'm like, that's true. That is true. He was so much of a fan that he said that he actually sent a tweet to Dana, like, yo, man, don't cut him. He's like, that's a fan. I've never tweeted Dana anything, no matter what. I think I might have tweeted him about my MMA fight battle thing. But anyways, yeah, so it's crazy. I just didn't think that Joey Beltran had like fans like that, where it's like, yo, man, I just like to see people fight. And I respect Joey Beltran for being out there and putting on a fight and being really tough. He is a very tough guy. But I'll be damned if, it is what it is. James Te-Huna, he looked like he might have gassed himself out a little bit. But he was still able to absolutely put a clinic on Joey Beltran. Not much to talk about here. Beltran was supposed to go out there and be a punching bag. A tough one. Respect for him being that damn tough. But, what happened is what happened. It's exactly what we expected to happen. Same thing with Aaron Simpson versus Kenny Robertson. Aaron Simpson's just better all around. So, good win for Aaron Simpson. There's not much to talk about here. Carlos Vermola versus Francis Carmon. Damn. Carmon looked beastly. Vermola, is that it for him? Like, not like is he getting cut, but like nobody really believes that there's like he's definitely hit that glass ceiling, right? We all agree that he's not getting any better and he's not going to improve like in the rankings ever at this point. This is okay. TJ Dillashaw, Vonley was doing all right. Then he did that, people need to chill out, and realize like, I don't need to always do what I like to do in practicing. And maybe in practicing, I shouldn't do certain things. Throwing that big kick probably seemed like a good idea, but TJ Dillashaw wants to get this fight to the ground. So let's not do things that could help that happen. And once it did, Dillashaw just kind of did his thing. So mad props to Dillashaw, but you did exactly what you're supposed to do. Dos Anjos versus Njokuani. That was a good fight. I like that fight. Congrats to Rafael dos Anjos. I'm just thinking about it, Njokuani was able to get off the ground a few times. Dos Anjos stood on the feet basically the gap was a little bit closer than I thought it would. I thought if it was on the feet, Njokuani would be able to just kind of tool Dos Anjos a little more. I thought if it was on the ground, then Njokuani would be kind of like a fish out of water against Dos Anjos. But no, Njokuani was able to, for the most part, get out of bad positions quickly and hip escapes and all that different good stuff. So, he still lost, but at the end of the day, showed a lot of good stuff in that fight. So Demasio Page, I did pick him to win. This was one of the only ones I got two wrong. This was one of them, and the other one was the main event. But yeah, I think it comes down to what I didn't pay attention was Demasio Page has all those tattoos, and whenever there's a fight between a guy with lots of tattoos and a guy with not lots of tattoos, you should pick the guy with less tattoos, and you'll most likely get it right. So my mistake for completely overlooking that. Also the fact that Demasio Page, he had 6 losses, and then 5 of them were submission losses, and his last 4 were submission losses. And Caceres, mad props to him. He's getting really good off his back. He's already shown a pretty good ground game, but he's consistently getting better. But what he has to realize is this whole, not really stuffing takedowns, going into guard and trying to catch people in submissions. Yeah, it's gonna work against Demasio Page. I keep saying his name different, Demasio. But anyways, he's gotta try and get up sometimes, and in this situation, he was sure about his jiu-jitsu off his back against Page, which, like I said, the guy has been submitted in his last 3 fights, which are his last 3 losses, and now 4 fights, and out of his 8 losses, 7 of them were submissions. And he's actually lost 4 in a row now. So, that's it for the Angel of Death. So, see you later. And Caceres, you're improving. That's what I like to see. It's not your fault. You started in the UFC, pretty early in your career. You were pretty green, but you're getting better. So that's what I like to see. Chris Carriazo just beat down Josh Ferguson like he should. Good win. So, Rafael Natal managed to pull off what it took Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen years to do, and Natal talked all this junk in the fight, actually in the fight, talking loud, just being, talk, and gets knocked out. I was happy to see that, to be honest. I picked Craig. Well, I wanted him to win. I thought he would win. But Natal was just out there doing all types of talking. He had Craig hurt so bad. In the first. Mad props to Craig for getting through that. And then Natal talk, chatter, until, he put them hands out to try and, he was going to block, realized, oops, put his hands out, came over the hands, knocked him flat out, and good win. But yeah, man, stop talking, I think you're out of the UFC too, if I remember correctly. What is this? No, it's only your first loss, since your Richard Tonio loss. Anyways, whatever. You'll be around. But, stop talking. Fight. And, this fight was horrendous. Marcelo versus Daniel Stigen. Oh, my God. That was bad. That was really bad. Guimaraes is throwing punches like he's swatting flies. Stigen is throwing, real talk. before I went and started training Muay Thai and stuff, and boxing and all that stuff when I was at Toronto BJJ, first thing I did was I went online and I said, look, I'm not going to go into this classroom throwing punches like a girl, you know, and not a professional girl, just like a girl. So I jumped online and I looked at certain things. I said, okay, you're supposed to throw a kick like this. You're supposed to keep your hands a certain way. You're supposed to do certain things. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't go into my first day and look like somebody in this first day in class, which I was, but I didn't want to be that guy who's closing his eyes and turning around and running when somebody throws a punch. I don't fight. You know, I like mixed martial arts. I like fighting, but I don't actually fight. So when I started to train, I wanted to at least, you know, not be day one. What do I do with, you know? So I learned these guys look like they still haven't gone through those classes. This dude, he was throwing punches like this. He literally was running forward and going like this. Like this, like when you see, you know, like on TV and you see the two guys. What the hell? And I've seen some footage on him too. And he definitely didn't look that rough. So I'm not sure exactly what was going on. And Stitchin, I mean, you know, I don't know how you call a fight like this. Because I'd just be dogging people like, what does he do with these kicks, these punches, everything? That was horrible. Glad the rest of the fight wasn't that bad. Or the rest of the card. And Asung Kao, congratulations on the win. So there you go.